Hi everybody, I'm Paddy Hunter-Murphy, and this is the Senior Pickleball Tips Podcast, where we discuss everything pickleball as it relates to us seniors. Right, hi everyone. We are looking now at the low intermediate level 3.0, and I have with me Jeff Gem, who's Coach Jeff from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Jeff, how you doing?
Doing great, Paddy. Great to hear from you.
Okay, look, let's dive straight in. We're looking at low intermediate level 3.0. How should they be serving? What should they be looking at on their serve, Jeff?
I'm moving more away from drop serves, those who do drop serves, and moving more into volley serves. I think we can get more speed on volley serves. I think we have more ability to move the ball around a little bit more. The higher the ball is, the lower we can keep it going over the net, and we have the ability to add a little more speed to the ball. So I'm not dissuading someone who really loves their and is very consistent with their drop serve, but no professional players use the drop serve. So I'm starting to move them into volley serve.
Okay, I think that's absolutely wise. You can do a bit more with a volley serve. And we're using this word deep again, aren't we? We're still looking at deep, aren't we?
We are. Another thing I'm going to start with 3.0 is I'm going to start rudimentary spins. I want to see variance in serves. I have a friend of mine who is a very good player, and he actually still is using a drop serve, but he hits a very hard, high top spin serve. But it's always that serve. So once you get used to it, it's not a problem. So what I try to do with the 3.0s is I probably try to start saying, okay, here's how you hit a cut spin serve. Here's how you hit a top spin serve. Here's how you hit a side spin serve. And I want to get them, and we keep it deep. We are able to hit a little bit of it more of a shallow when if they're standing so far back, we want to be able to adjust that. So I start adjusting serves at 3.0.
Yeah, I think that makes so much sense, because spin serves are definitely in the mix. You kind of need them in the mix. I mean, having said that, I guess even at 3.0 and even at higher levels, you need your own particular default serve that you can come back to every time, and you pretty much know 10 out of 10 you're going to get it in. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we are really honing in on consistency at 3.0. Again, if you don't get the serve in, you can't register a point. So at 2.5, if I can get them to get 8 out of 10 in, I'm fine. But at 3.0, I want it to be automatic. I want them to be able to just drop the ball, hit the ball, and know that it's going to be in the correct place.
Yeah, and in terms of spins, it's more sort of give it a go. You may not have them absolutely brilliantly, but give them a go, and you might find either the spin to one way or spin to the other way. You might find you're quite natural at it. I mean, for me personally, again, I'm a right-hander going from right to left, spinning onto the so-called advantage side. I found a sort of short side spin, spinning away from my opponent's backhand, can really put them off quite a bit. And you can do it a couple of times till they get used to it. But at 3.0, I think it's worth, again, giving it a go, trying it every now and again.
Right. And one of the things I like to do is if I get a right-hander and they're on the right side of theirs, I like to hit a top spin, side spin serve that takes them off the court. So anytime, and the same thing if I'm serving on the left side, I'm going to hit as a right-hander going towards their right hand. I'm going to go to a cut spin serve a lot of times. I want to take them off the court. Not that they can't return the serve, but it puts them out of bounds. It puts a real onus on their partner to cover the whole court while they go out and retrieve the serve. So I'm really starting to get strategy involved even more at 3.0.
But also remember, we're looking at 3.0, which is a low intermediate level. 3.0s aren't going to be able to be doing that consistently every time. But I suppose the message from both of us is give it a go. Don't hold back.
Cut spin to me came so naturally. Side spin did not. So my default is more of a cut spin serve. So then that gives me something to work on some side spin that trails off to the left as a right-handed right-handed server. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent. Right, low intermediate again. Let's move on to the return of serve. A lot of people, including both of us, say the return of serve is the most important shot in pickleball. There we go again. So we're looking at 3.0. What are we looking at on the return of serve, Jeff?
Well, again, we want to get more and more consistency on the deep returns. And I'm also a big advocate on starting to get it high. It depends on age and it depends on athleticism. Me being someone who has the next birthday starting with a 7, I don't have the speed I had when I was 30. So the higher I can get the ball in deeper, that gives me more time to get up to the line. So again, we start talking strategy with them. We start saying, look, depending on how fast you are, how athletic you are, depends on what you want to do with the return. But in general, deep, 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 if you can get it to backhand, that's great. And if you can put it up high, it gives you time to get up to the non-volley zone.
Okay, fantastic. Jeff, that is a super senior tip. So well done. That's absolutely right. Hit it high, gives you a little more time to get in. Well done. Okay, so low intermediate 3.0, we're looking at the third shot. Now there's this debate about drop and drive. So where are you on a 3.0 with the third shot, Jeff?
Okay, so I'm looking at my opponent. One of the things I really like to do is analyze what they do well and what they don't do well. If they're really at the line, their paddle is up, they're returning drives, I'm going to be hitting drop shots. If their paddle isn't up, if it's down at the side, which is at most 3.0s, I'm going to be hitting drives. More at advanced level, I'm hitting a drive drop scenario. I'm hitting a drive, trying to get them to drop it shallow, and then hitting a fifth shot, soft shot, fifth shot drop. But it depends on person you're playing against. And again, that's why it's so important to be very good at both driving and dropping at this level. I'm still more of a drive person because most people at 3.0 do not handle drives well, but I don't want to do that all the time. I want to be able to drop it and I want to be able to drop it at the backhand of my opponent.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely wise. And when we're looking at that third shot drop, similar to what we were saying to the advanced beginners, here we're the low intermediates 3.0, we want to be saying, don't leave out the third shot drop. Don't not do it. You know,
Absolutely.
If you want to get better, this is an important shot in pickleball, even though it may not be fashionable and it may not be fancy and it may not be huge fun. You know, it's more fun just to hit it as hard as you blooming can. Don't leave it out. And I think this is a big bit of advice from both of us, Jeff. Do you think?
Right. What are you there for? If you're there to get points, what is your opponent not doing well and what can you do well? A lot of times I can tie up a person at 3.0 or even 3.5 or 4.0 if I'm hitting third shot drops to their backhand. It really baffles them and it really weakens their ability to attack me. So absolutely, drop shot is still, I'm a soft game guy. I really am. I'm a soft game believer in placement over power still.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to ask you a minute about the arch on a third shot drop. But before that, this is a great tactic. The third shot drop plus dinking, and we'll look at that another time. As seniors, we have the patience for these shots. And if we're playing especially younger people, this can drive them bananas. And it is a way for us as seniors as an advantage over the youngsters. I kind of hear that time and time again. Is that correct, Jeff?
Oh, I think it is. You know, as seniors, we don't have the power that a lot of the younger players have. So what do we use? We got to use the stuff to our advantage. What can we do well? I'm a very patient dinker. I will go to somebody's backhand 50 times if I have to before they, and get them to bury it into the net. It's a point. How do you construct a point? That's how I want to play.
Okay, let me ask you now about the arch of the third shot drop. When you get to 3.0, this is something you need to be thinking about, isn't it?
Right. And again, you want to keep it on the high side. So what if it's high enough where it's at their chest or at their stomach? where they can hit the ball. So what? Most of them are not going to put enough pace on to put it away at 3.0. I'm always coaching for the next level. So if I get a 3.0 student, I want to say, okay, in order to get to 3.5, we want to do this, but we have to do this at the 3.0 level. So I'm looking at a little bit of a higher arch. And at any level, we're looking at a high arch landing just barely over the net. That's what a drop shot is.
Okay, absolutely brilliant. I just want to take a minute to tell you about SeniorPickleballTips.com. Are you frustrated that your pickleball game just isn't improving? Tired of endless YouTube scrolling, confusing advice, and feeling like you're stuck at the same level? You're not alone. SeniorPickleballTips.com is here to help you change that. It's built specifically for senior players from beginner all the way to 4.0, with a clear step-by-step skill roadmap to help you get to the next level, structured lessons with blogs, videos and podcasts, and an easy to search library so you're never left wondering what to work on next. Join us at SeniorPickleballTips.com and take the guesswork out of getting better and having fun on the pickleball court. That next level you've been chasing? It's closer than you think. So please go to SeniorPickleballTips.com and check us out. Thank you. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Jeff, we're looking at the forehand drive. Obviously a pretty important shot.
Yes, it's a very important shot. It's a shot I will really try to teach the drop shot first, but once they get a handle on the drop shot, I want to teach them the drive shot. One of the big mistakes I see people make is try to hit it too hard. A drive shot should be no more than 70% your full speed, because what we're looking for on a drive is we're looking for it to dip down over the net. We want to see our opponent's paddles go down below the net. So if their paddles are down, where they're going to hit it? They're going to hit it up in the air. So our drive, really, we want to concentrate on top spin, and we want to hit it a little high to begin with. But as it's going towards the net, we want it to be dropping, which is why we only want to hit it at 70%.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely wise. And so many people, as you say, dare I say it, men, just want to knock the cover off the ball. And so many, if you're at the net, it's past your shoulder, let it fly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I see too many people trying to drive the ball as they get closer and closer to the net. So we talk about angles. We talk a lot about horizontal angles, but vertical angles are just as important. And as we get closer to the net, we have to hit it easier. We either have to hit it right at somebody so that their paddle has to either block it or we're going to hit their body. And if we can't do that, we have to hit it a little easier, because the whole premise is if you hit it to clear the net and you're closer to the net and you don't have a massive amount of topspin on, it's probably going out. So I really try to teach not only my lower intermediates, but my beginners to do the same thing. I want to teach them to get out of the way. If somebody wants to come up and crank it hard and hit it out of the way, let them do that. You get the point.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one question on the forehand drive, low intermediate. Obviously, I come from tennis. I think you do too. Topspin's a major part of tennis, and it's something that isn't as easy as all that with a paddle rather than a racket with strings, but it can be done. And I think at low intermediate is something that low intermediate should be given a go.
Absolutely. And as you're back on the baseline, I would tell people to use the full paddle to do it. So one of the things when we're back at there, we want the paddle tip down.
Yeah.
So when we hit it, we can put the most amount, roll that and put the most amount of topspin on. I see people holding their paddle sideways. And what they're doing is we want to come up. We want to brush up on the ball when we're hitting topspin, but we also want to brush forward with some power. Spin the ball more if you have that paddle tip down. If I'm going to drive it, I want to drive it with my legs. I really teach students, I don't want to see your arms. I don't want to see your elbows. I don't want to see your wrists. I want to see your core. I want to see your big muscles especially on drives. So you can, I've got a sore shoulder right now, and I suspect it's because I've been trying to overuse it, and not using my legs enough. So that's something I'm concentrating myself. But use your legs. And if you do that, you want to keep it a little closer to you so that you can use those legs and turn those hips and really that's what's going to give you the power. And then I think spin is going to come from the brushing up on the ball.
That is very good advice. So let's move on to the backhand drive now for low intermediates. Most people will start off probably with a single forehand unless they've had a double backhand from another sport, principally tennis. So what's your take on the backhand drive? Similar to the forehand, but again, the backhand's a bit more tricky, isn't it?
It is. Very few people at the low intermediate have a decent backhand drive. If somebody really wants to learn it, I will try to teach it to them. But as a whole, if it gets hit to your backhand, I'm teaching drop more than anything else. Now, as they get closer to the net, I'm going to start telling them to be a little more aggressive. But on a backhand drive from a baseline, it basically does nothing as far as I'm concerned. If they've returned the serve and they're already up at the net and they hit it back by the baseline, and you try to hit a backhand drive, chances are you cannot put enough pace on it to really make a big difference on that. Now, as we get closer to the net, you can. So what I'm looking for backhand drives closer to the net, I'm looking for a little higher ball, because we can't probably put as much topspin on it as we can on our forehand side, because we're using our non-dominant hand to create that. I know some coaches that teach you start with your left hand. If you're a right-hander, you start with your left hand and you start hitting the ball with your left hand, and then that's what creates the power. Your right hand goes along for the ride. That's not what I teach. I like to, if I'm right-handed, honestly, my left hand is not that good. Now, can I steer the ball with my left hand? Can I create spin with my left hand? Yes, I can. So I'm going to use my right hand. I'm going to use my right shoulder. I'm a right-handed player, and I'm going to hit the ball back further. All the shots we want to teach are up front, but this one is if it's around my hip high or stomach high, I want to teach the paddle out to the side, and then I want to really whip through with my legs and hips, because they've got to do the job. If I'm going to put it away, it has to be powerful. And to be powerful, it can't just be my left arm. My left arm is not powerful. My hips and my shoulders and my core is. That's what's powerful.
Very, very interesting. So basically, what you're saying, this might be the one shot when you can bring your arm back, because you're going to need it for that backhand if you want to put a bit of power on it. It's the one shot in pickleball, really, when, it's okay.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I would say that's true.
Okay, that is really great. Thank you so much. Right, let's move on to the volley. Lower intermediate player, you should be volleying okay. You should be able to place it somewhat.
Yeah, so the volley and the drop shots are very similar. The only difference is on a drop shot, we want to wait for the ball just to start falling a little bit before we hit a drop shot. On a true volley, we're taking it out of the air, probably at apex. We want to be in the transition zone in order to take that volley. Obviously, if we're back near the baseline and somebody hits it and it's hip high, chances are it's going to go out of bounds. So again, we're going to give away a chance to just get a point by just turning and watching the ball sail out. But if we're in the middle, and I teach advanced beginners to reset those shots in the transition zone. But now I'm starting to get into a little more advanced playing, and I'm trying to teach them to put a little pace on the ball. Not a lot, but a little bit. You want to put a little bit pressure, because your job, again, is to get up to the non-volley zone. So if you are in that transition zone, you want to hit it with a little bit of pace. You still want to make sure you're hitting it low to high. But this is where we want to start really working with top spin and trying to get it just over the net, dipping over the net. The crucial thing is seeing our opponent's paddle dip below the net. Once that happens, zoom. Let's get into that kitchen area, and let's even up.
Yeah, and I suspect as seniors with volleying, we're not always looking at winning the point with the volley. A lot of it is, let's go for someone's feet. Let's push them back. Sometimes if someone's hanging back in the transition zone, in the Is it no man's land? Push them back, hit the volley to their feet so they're out of balance. So it isn't so much, okay, I'm going to volley and I'm going to win this shot. It's more make them uncomfortable and I'll probably win it on the next one. Is that?
Yeah, I think the whole purpose of pickleball is not to win on any one shot. The whole idea is to set up the shot. And I try to think 2 and 3 shots ahead of time, where I'm putting it out here. Okay, it's coming back to my backhand. You've heard of the triangle effect probably, where you're hitting the ball straight. If you hit it straight and the other person has their paddle, it's coming straight back. If you hit it cross court, you want to move your paddle to the side because it's going to come back to your backhand. So we're really looking at that when we're attacking. We're probably not putting it away with that shot, but we're looking at that next shot. Is our paddle in ready position? We can predict where it's going to come back. Are we ready for it? And can we put it away? So it's thinking 1 or 2 or 3 shots ahead in every shot in pickleball. So the volley shot is the setup shot. The drop shot is a setup shot. The third shot drive is a setup shot. All we're trying to do is get them to pop the ball up, and then us or our partner come in, and you've heard the term shake and bake. That's what we use here in the States. That we crash the net, put it away. There's your put away, but it's all set up by that other shot.
And I mean, volleying at the net, let's not forget, we taught this before, but people might be listening to these for the first time as low intermediates. A lot of it is backhands, isn't it? Yeah, 80%. When you're standing just outside the no volley zone line, it's 80% backhands.
Everybody's a little bit different. I don't like to paint the same picture for everyone. Some people feel more comfortable. When I'm at the non-volley zone, my paddle is on a slight backhand bias. So you can reach more across your body with your backhand than you can. Your forehand only comes so far. But here's the key. We want to be hanging out over the non-volley zone. I see a lot of people straight up and down at the non-volley zone. We are taking angles away from ourselves when we do that. So that's why we want to have our paddle well out in front of us. And if it's out in front of us, you can take forehand all the way across or backhand. But what happens is this elbow is not your friend when you're at the net. So you have to get it in front of your body so your whole elbow can move in front. If it's down at the side, it stops. So that's the thing at the net. So if we hit that volley shot, we want to be up there and we want to have our paddle out there for 2 reasons. Number 1, we want to take it early, take time away from our opponents. Number 2, we want to put it down at the hardest angle we can. So those are we got to think offensive, folks.
Yeah, I take something from my old dad, who's no longer with us, and he took me onto a tennis court when I was young, and he always used to say, aim for the shoelaces.
That's pickleball too.
Aim for the shoelaces. All right, guys, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Jeff. Right, let's move on to the dink.
Okay.
So we're dinking. A lot of the dinks across court. We're dinking. We're low intermediates. What are your thoughts on the dink at the low intermediate level?
Take anything you can out of the air. So we talk about, there's a process I just put out on Senior Pickleball Tips, and it's called RREI, and it's really important if we follow that on dinks. So first R is be ready in the ready position. So what's the ready position? We got to be standing at the kitchen. We got to be with our weight slightly forward, our paddle out over, and we've got to be moving our body. So we're in a ready position. Second R, react. Where the ball is coming, we've got to move our feet. I try to make myself move my feet no matter what. I will not stand still. Even if it comes to exactly the same place, I'm going to move my feet just to get in that habit of moving my feet. I want to keep that ball in between my feet so that I can have the strongest way to put it back. So ready, react, execute the shot. Make sure you're in that nice low position, your knees are bent, and you're hitting it where you aim. And then the last one is the one that everybody misses, even in the 4.0 and 4.5, is I improve. So once you hit it, don't stand there and admire your handiwork. Let's move. So if you hit it to their backhand, you're moving towards the middle, because if there's only 2 places it's going to go, down our partner's line or back into the middle. So we want to make sure we're improving our posture when we do that. Take everything out of the air that you can. Again, our two best friends are time and real estate. We want to take time away from our opponents. So when we hit it, especially if they're off balance, if we can take it out of the air rather than wait for it to bounce, we're giving them extra time to get back into position. Let's take it out of the air if we can. Only if you can, because some people can't reach that far, and we don't want you reaching so that you're going to tip over.
You're absolutely correct. But if you're the dinker, if you're the person doing the dinking, obviously you're aware that your opponent is going to try and reach across and take that ball out of the air. So when you're dinking, obviously you've got to make sure that you don't dink it too high for them to do that.
I'm a big believer in cross-court dinking. You have more margin for error. If you're not a very good dinker, start cross-court. We get out in the court and we get two balls going. Our opponent and us get, we got two on each side, and we're hitting straight across. And that's the hardest place to dink because there's only 14 feet between those two lines. Whereas if I'm over in one corner and I'm dinking to the other corner, I've got 24 feet to hit to. So if you're not good at dinking, dink cross court. And we want to really be dinking at that back area with the back foot and a half is where we want to be dinking to. And we want to be dinking around them. We don't want them to be standing there. We don't want to be dinking more than 2 times in any one time. So I see people getting in these backhand battles and they'll hit it 10 times and stuff. That just gives me a chance to start creeping over and wait for my opportunity. Somebody's going to pop it up sometime and I'm going to be there to smash it. So move people around, dink to the middle and dink to the extreme ends. And I tell people, I don't just dink it over.
I think that is such good advice. That's something that I need to do more. It is to just don't keep dinking into the same place. I do the cross court and I don't really do the middle. And I need to start doing that. Someone once said, at an intermediate level, you shouldn't really dink more than 2 times into the same spot, something like that.
Agree.
Yeah. So bear that in mind, folks. Okay, dinking. That is fantastic. Thank you, Jeff. Right. You're a low intermediate. What do you think about lobbing at the low intermediate level?
I think lobbing is fine. You want to use it sparingly, and you want to practice it too. I see too many people get out there and see other people lobbing and say, "Oh, I can lob." Well, a lob shot to me is very similar to a drop shot. You want to be catching the ball as it's falling. You don't want to be catching it at apex, and you want to be careful when you lob. If you want to lob over your opponent's dominant shoulder, you can't just run straight back. We want to make them run at an angle. And that takes more, again, that gives us more time. It takes more time away from them. We want to make them run around their dominant hand. We want to make them run to the backhand side if we can. So, or if they do run to the forehand side, they're taking themselves off the court, which is, again, what we want to accomplish.
Very wise words. And I guess also if you're lobbing more cross court than straight, you got more court to get the ball into.
Right. The only thing you got to watch when you're doing that is if somebody starts crashing the middle and catches that ball before it really gets over their head, because that's an easy thing to intercept. If I see somebody that's constantly doing that, I'm going to move back. I'm not going to be right on the kitchen line. I'm going to probably hang back about 2 feet off there. And if I see them getting down, and this is why it's so important, Paddy, that our dink, our speed up, and our lob all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Our paddle tip is down. We want to be waiting for it there, and we want to. Paddy, I don't want you to know what I'm going to do. Hey, is Jeff going to speed it up? Oh, he might lob it here. I want you to be guessing. So if I stand back there and all of a sudden I dip down, he's going to lob that, then we're giving away our surprise advantage, which is what we need is a lob thing. So you want to use it sparingly, but it is something to practice. But again, it's like the drop shot. I want to wait for it to be slightly falling so that I can hit up on the ball and make that shot to the back.
I did a lot of lobbing in tennis, so I've sort of got a bit of a technique and it kind of works, but it doesn't work all the time. Statistically, I'll do 2 or 3 and then I'll think, hang on, I only won 1 of those points, out of 3 lobs. It looks fantastic, and you feel like you've got the advantage, but do you actually win the point? So I say to people, if you are going to lob, actually think, did I win the point, and how many points did I win when I did lob? It's a shot, you're right. Use it sparingly, use it almost as a surprise tactic if you want, but be careful out there. The other thing is lobbing from a dink when all 4 players are at the net. I mean, we're at a low intermediate level here. It's probably worth a try, is it, if people are confident?
It is. Now, where it really happens well is if you can push one of the players away from another player. So if you create a lane down the middle where you can drive your car down there, then it's a much easier lob because you have a little more room for making a mistake. So if you're playing at 3-0, chances are people aren't going to be smashing it very hard at you. I've developed a really good top spin lob from the baseline. Isn't anything I would tell anybody to do. It's just something that, how things come natural to you or don't come natural to you. That came natural to me. I just started hitting this top spin, and I see people, it's going to go out, and all of a sudden, boop, lands, a foot in and or right on the line. And I get more points that way. And it's not something I would ever teach anybody to do unless they, it just came natural to me. So
I was about to say, you must never really lob from the baseline because it's so difficult, but obviously you've got a technique, and everyone's got sort of something that they do really well, I guess.
Yeah, and if you put the top spin on, that's the key thing, because number one, it's rolling it down, and number two, when it hits, it actually is moving away from them. So I'd get somebody to go running back, and they're just almost back to the ball, and all of a sudden the ball will scoot even further away, and they'll go, well, what was that? And I'll say, well, it was top spin, So it's kind of fun to do that. But
yeah, fantastic. Now, before we move on to the smash, I just want to say one thing to people with the lob. If you're playing in rec play, and you're good at lobbing, and people aren't very fast, they come into the net, don't lob all the time. Don't do it, folks. You'll win the point, but you drive everyone completely nuts. And just do one or two, but life's not worth it. Obviously, in competition, if it's working, do it every blooming shot if you can.
That's there's very few things I don't like. I don't like to play against someone who lobs a lot, but that's on me. You're exactly right. If I get somebody who lobs a lot, I have to force myself to say, okay, I'm going to hang in there and play against this guy, because it's going to make me better if I can solve that riddle. So a lot of times I'll just stay back 2 or 3 steps from the kitchen. I'm fast enough yet at 69 that I can move up pretty quickly, but I'll stay back there and I'll start pummeling the guy this is the thing. You're going to serial lob me, I'm going to hit it right back at you, and I'm going at you. I'm body back, baby, because it's, I will teach you a lesson to lob with me. So
use the lob, folks, but beware.
Use the lob, don't abuse the lob. How about that? Well, that needs to be a t-shirt.
I like that. I like that. Okay, let's move on. We're looking at the smash. I mean, if you come from badminton, if you come from tennis, I suppose it's a fairly regular shot. But if you don't come from that kind of a sport, or volleyball or something like that, it can be quite difficult. So what are your thoughts on low intermediate 3.0 on the smash?
I guess it all depends on how high the ball is and how much time you have. The one thing I see from most people, the biggest mistake I see, is the ball's going over their head and their paddle is straight up in the air. So their paddle is at 12 o'clock noon and they're trying to hit the ball. Well, how do you hit the ball down when your paddle is at 12 o'clock noon? You have to use your wrist. And if you just miss a little with your wrist, how many times have you seen somebody hit it right off the top of their paddle and it goes sailing? Or if you can get the ball in front of you, then let's have at it. And I teach people, I say, hey, give me a high five. Well, how do you high five people? You don't high five them up here, you high five them out here, don't you? So if I'm on a clock and straight up is 12 o'clock, a high five would be at about 11 o'clock. So the easiest thing to do is get that high five out here and just press it down using your shoulder if you don't have much time. If you do have time, then we teach it to Paddy. I'm sure you learned it in tennis. We want to comb the back of our hair with our racket or paddle. We want to get our hand up in the air. We want to be pointing at the ball, and then we want to be coming over across our body and hitting it down. At 3.0, I would tell people, let's start. I started late. I believed at the time when I was learning that all I had to do was put the ball down. Well, if you put the ball down in the middle and you've got some opponents that are fairly mobile, they've got a chance at getting it back.
Yeah.
So I would challenge 3.0 people. Again, I'm getting the discs out. I'm going to go back maybe about halfway back on the transition zone, and I'm going to put it about 2 feet from the outside edges. And I'm going to make them try to hit the smashes there, because we want to start really getting them to hit angles. If you hit an angle like that, and even if somebody gets the ball back, you've spread your opponents far apart. And now that shot down the middle, you can win it with. But if you start just hitting it straight back in the middle, we had some games this morning. I played with the 4-5 group this morning, and there were some, I'll bet I hit 10 in a row back to somebody who kept hitting it right down the middle, and I would get my paddle out there, hit a shot back, bang, they hit it again, hit a shot back. I'll bet I did it 10 times in a row in one point. Had they hit the angles and moved us around and spread us out, then they probably would have had us. But I mean, you hit it, it's the same as dinking. If you hit it right back to the same spot, people are going to know, they're going to be ready for it.
And similar to volleying, I guess, is like my old man used to say, aim for the shoelaces. Get it down there. Get it down there. That's where it's hard.
I'll tell you what, I'm not looking for you to get it deep as I am to get it down. Even if it isn't at the shoelaces, the harder you hit it down, the higher it's going to bounce. So do you want to be hitting a ball at your knees or below your hips? Yes, I do. Or do you want to be hitting it up here because it's bounced so high because you put it down at a good speed? So it's bouncing up, and what type of offensive shot can you make there? Not very much. I'm really big on getting the ball down and getting that sharp as angle as you can. So if you can do that, I think you're going to be more successful.
Yeah. And just one more thing with the smash, I find is it's a mistake that I'm starting to not make. And that is, the ball goes up, you got to smash, and you go for the sidelines. And I was doing that a lot. I've been playing now for about 2 years, and just hitting it out all the time. A badminton court is a lot smaller than a tennis court.
Yes, it is.
So I'm stopping to do that now, and I'm going for the shoelaces and the center line even.
And get used to that feeling of where your feet should be, where your shoulder position should be when you're hitting it down, and get comfortable with that, because that's the next evolution. Just hitting it down is good. Hitting it down at an angle away from people. And that's one thing that I do. I have like a 3-point thing that I do. When the ball's in the air, I'm looking at it, where's it gonna be? So I've got my body ready for it. Before I hit it, I'm gonna glance down and see where my opponents are. And most of the time they're not moving much away from the middle. So if I see that, then I'm gonna slightly turn my body and hit down on it, but I'm going to try to get it away from them if I can. I'm not going to go right for I'm not going to try to pinpoint 2 inches before the line, but I am going to move it.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very good advice. Okay, we've come to the last shot on low intermediates, the reset shot. A very important shot. You're defending volleys and smashes, and you're at the back of the court, and at low intermediate you really need to start looking seriously at the reset shot, don't you?
You sure do. One of the big mistakes I see from people that are moving up, and most of our resets are happening in the transition zone, and when we move up, we are moving up high. In other words, once we hit the ball, our natural inclination is to stand straight up and move forward. We got to think about crabs. We got to think about the way crabs move. We got to have our paddle down, because that's where the ball's going to come. If the ball comes at our shoulders and we're halfway in there, it's going to go out, right? So when we come in, we want to make sure that we get low and we get our paddle down around our knees, anticipating that. It's a lot easier to bring your paddle up than it is to take your paddle down. Yeah. It's a lot easier when you're already down to make that shot than if you're standing straight up and, oh, here it comes down on my knees. I have to drop my paddle. I have to drop my, get down on my knees. That's a lot harder shot. And I would say 75% of the mistakes I see are made because people are standing too upright and not getting down low enough and not having their paddle in that ready position to react. When I'm coming up to the transition zone, I'm backhand. My reset is with that backhand, and it's all I'm doing is lifting the ball. I'm not trying to put any spin on it. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm trying to reset the ball, hopefully to somebody's backhand. That's it. And I'm just trying to get it over the net. I'm trying to land it in the kitchen and trying to give myself chance to get up further up towards the non-volley zone. So make it easy on yourself. The most important point I could stress on this is stay low with your knees, stay low with your paddle, anticipate the ball coming to you. They're already going to hit it low. You know it's coming at you low or it's going to go out of bounds. So get that paddle down. And man, it's so easy to maneuver that paddle in a short area than it is if you have to drop that paddle and drop down on your knees.
Yeah, very, very good advice. But with the reset shot, it is quite a tricky shot. And so I would be saying to low intermediates, and I was a low intermediate just a little while ago, it is a tricky shot, and it's difficult to get it right. But I suppose the main advice on here is, you have to take it seriously. If you want to improve, you've got to keep trying it. It's no use just driving the whole time, even though that might win you the points, okay, and might, put you at the top of the ladder in rec play. If you want to improve, you've got to try that reset shot. And I guess, I don't know if you agree here, Jeff, the main thing is similar to advanced beginners is just get it back over the net and into the non-volley zone. Do that, and then you can start thinking about the trajectory and the arc and things like that. But just get it back into the non-volley zone. Just do that.
If you make them hit it one more time, they could hit it at the net, they could hit it out. If you hit it into the net, the point's over, obviously. So I would think about two additional things and start thinking about grip pressure and how much you have to move your paddle. Most of your resetting is going to come from your dominant shoulder. You're going to be in a locked position with your knees bent. You're going to use maybe a little bit of legs, but most of it is just going to be how hard do I need to lift with my shoulder to make that. It's coming out really fast. Lighten your grip up. It's contrary to what you want to do because we get tense when we get a little nervous, or we tend to grip the paddle too hard. And that's what causes most of the problems. If we're gripping the paddle too hard, it's repelling off the paddle at too high of a pace, and pace equals height. So when you have the ball down low and your paddle's low where it should be, if it adds too much pace, it's coming right up here and I'm putting it away. So relax your hand, relax that grip when it's coming at you hard, and then determine how much you have to move that paddle. Because if you just set your paddle, I play a lot of golf. I coached a golf team. If I get somebody in golfing, I love it because I can say, okay, we're going to hit a 9-iron here. Your 9-iron is open this wide. That's what we want to hit. Okay, when we're back a little deeper, we want to hit a 7-iron. So we're looking at that angle of where you should have your paddle. And all you're trying to do is push it so it's high enough over the net, but soft enough so that it lands in the kitchen. That sounds easier than it is, but if you practice it, it's not that hard.
Yeah,
I had resets this morning. Today was a good reset morning for me. Sometimes it isn't. Today I was dropping everything, and my partners were looking over at me like, where'd that come from? And it was just the day. Tomorrow it might not be that way, but today I was Mr. Reset guy, and I wish I could bottle that. I wish I could tell, hey, I did this different than I did yesterday, but it was just my day for that. So.
Yeah, you need to tell your body, remember what I did today.
How did you do that? Let's learn
don't
that.
Forget that. Hey, that's fantastic. And just very quickly, and to end on the reset shot, it is a very important shot. I read somewhere, and I know we're looking at 3.0 and we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I read somewhere that you just cannot really get to 4.0 unless you've got a reasonably reliable reset shot.
Watch where the pros play the ball. It's at the net. So, but if you can't get to the net, you can't have you want to hit all those angles. You can't do that unless you get to the net. One of the ways you have to learn to get to the net is that reset. So as soon as that you hit it low and it just comes flying up and it lands on while you're waiting, and this goes back to RREI we talked about earlier, improve. As soon as you hit that reset, if you hit the reset and you got a good one, get your butt up to the non-volley zone, because that's your reward for completing a good shot. So let's make sure we're rewarding ourselves with that advance up to the non-volley zone when we do something good, whether it's a drop shot, whether it's a reset, whether it's a drip, or or we hit a great drive and we block it. We got to be ready when that happens.
Yeah.
We got to be ready to crash that net and be offensive with that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's finish off by saying this. We're seniors, and a reset shot and a lot of these shots, again, always, it's about precision, not power. And we're seniors, we have the patience. We can do this stuff. So bear that in mind, folks. Listen, thank you so much. That ends the low intermediate 3.0 with the 10 shots. And Jeff, thank you so much. Coach Jeff at Limitless Pickleball. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Glad to do it.
Okay, listen, we'll leave it there for now. Okay, everyone, bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Senior Pickleball Tips podcast, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Now remember, we've got the Facebook group, we've got the seniorpickleballtips.com website, so please head on there if you want to be more involved. It would be great to see you. Okay, my Senior Pickleball Tips friends, paddle up, stay safe, and most importantly, have fun. Don't want to miss an episode? Then follow and subscribe to the Senior Pickleball Tips podcast. Find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Audible. Or even just ask Alexa. And please leave a rating and review. Okay, folks, we'll leave it there. See you on court. Bye for now.